Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 39 of our vanilla City Skylines Let's Play. I have a question for you City Skylines viewers. I'm trying to spell it, we're so close to hitting the next milestone. Like, I'm just waiting for it to pop. We've been sat here for like 30 minutes building houses. Anyway, we'll wait for that to pop in the meantime while we talk. We had a comment last episode, and I'll pop it up on screen right now. It was a really nice comment, so thank you for, I think his name is Ed, for leaving that comment. Really super appreciated, dude. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you were enjoying it, and a lot of other people seem to be enjoying this series as well. And if you've probably been following the channel, you know now that the plan after this city is to go ahead and start a modded series. Now, I want to ask the City Skylines viewers if that is what you guys want. Do you want the City Skylines content on this channel to remain vanilla, and after this we can start another vanilla series? Maybe we can use some mods, maybe like the traffic manager mod and better landscaping tools so we can make things look a little bit better. But in terms of assets and ploppables and different other kind of more game changing mods, we would be leaving alone. So let me know in the comments for those that follow this series. This is kind of the channel's flagship series, is City Skylines Vanilla. And if you guys want the city stuff to remain vanilla, then absolutely after we finish this city, we'll go ahead and do another one. But if you guys want to see a modded series, then that is the plan as of now. And we'll do that if that's what you guys want. And perfect timing, we have hit Megalopolis, unlocking our final zone. We now have monuments and the final 2 airports as well. Let's check out some of these monuments. I'm not sure what these are. So we need Observatory, Stadium, Eden Project, Medical Centre, Hadron Collider, Ultimate Recycling Plant, and the Castle of Lord Chirtwick. Okay, so that's going to be really cool to work with some of those. And now finally we have our final tile of this series. What a journey it has been. And today I wanted to work on expanding the national park, and I believe finally we have some ore deposits over here. Let's have a check real quick. Yes, we do. We have 2 that we can take advantage of. We're probably going to leave that one. There isn't much on this side of the boundary. But over here we've got some really nice land to do some ore industry in. So that's definitely what we're going to be doing with that in a future episode. But what I wanted to do today was expand the road network in this tile. Build some kind of smaller country towns, and then expand the national park out into the hills as well. So we've got a fair bit to do, but don't forget, let me know in the comments which series you guys want me to follow up on with this. Is it going to be modded or unmodded? I'll leave it up to you guys. I'm happy to play either, as long as you guys still continue to enjoy the channel. Also, on a side note as well, I'm going to talk while I build here. I'm starting to ramble. We are up to 60 subscribers now, which is crazy. I was only thanking you guys last week for 50 subscribers, and now we are up to 60. So just absolutely crazy. Thank you so much for all the support. And I am working on a kind of subscriber milestone special. It's probably not going to be in City Skylines. I was thinking of going to do like kind of a music video of the city, kind of like a nice compilation, but I think I'm going to save that idea for the final farewell to this city, Friendwood. So I think it's probably going to be in the Total War series. We'll do some kind of epic cinematic battle in the campaign that we're running over there right now. So let me know what you guys think of that. Okay, so what I'm doing right now here is we're just building this highway road through the valleys of this kind of rugged terrain. Now, where I live, we have a lot of roads like this where they're high-speed roads. You can do 60-70 mile an hour on these roads, but they are just one lane in each direction. So obviously, you know, they're not big freeways like this, or what we would call highways. But they are kind of high-speed country roads. Now, what we have on these places is kind of little villages that come off them. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and build one as faithfully as I can. So I think we're going to come up here with a dirt road. You know, these are kind of the backwoods of the city right now. Or of the map, rather. So let's kind of bring it up to there, and there's kind of a natural base in here that we can maybe do A little bit of terraforming now. Let's try and push this cliff back a little and make almost like a basin for our town to sit in. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of these trees, and then we'll plop our own trees in as well. Okay, so let's we're going to keep snapping off, I think. Now they are going to have a tarmacked main road right through the middle. Like, this place is going to be like super small, so it's not going to be anything too impressive. And I think we'll have kind of maybe a little dirt road coming off here and down here. It's trying to keep the zoning blocks within the general shape of the terrain, so we can actually get some country houses on here. Let's build this one up here, and then maybe off to the side, and this can be a little kind of a little offshoot. Okay. Let's get some water infrastructure in here first of all, and then we'll connect this up to the grid down here. Now, of course, this place is going to need power lines. Now, I'm wondering if the renewable green city stuff would look better in this part of town rather than having the skyscrapers in. We'll see how they turn out when they build up. I'm just going to have a few small houses here, nothing too major. This place is rural. I'm just going to place little 1-block houses around the place. And maybe have a bit of a bigger one around here. Now, this place might look really weird now, but once we detail it, we'll see some more interesting things in this part of town. I might build a few of these throughout this national park zoning. We will see. Let's have another one here. And I think we're going to link this road up again as well. There we go. Maybe we can have a few along the hillside here too. Yeah, so these are the kind of buildings that I want. It's kind of that small town vibe. And National Park is leveled up. Wonderful, that is perfect timing. We can now actually go ahead and paint out the rest of the National Park. Let's bring it up to around here. And then down, and then we can fill all that in as well. Super. Okay, so these guys are going to be needing power. Maybe we can find a way to link it up permanently. They do have some wind turbines over here, thankfully, so it won't be too long. Is there any kind of park we can give them? Perhaps a small playground would go quite nicely. I don't know, is that going to bring too much traffic into the area? Yeah, so this is exactly the kind of feel I'm going for. We've got nice little small shops. We've got, like, it has its own gas station. Unfortunately, that's going to level up. Actually, maybe let's make that a historical building. So then the oil industry, the oil building, like the petrol station, won't change. And we'll see how that turns out. So we've got some nice little houses popping up now. Let's see. Okay, let's start building the national park around this. Because I do want to make sure that this is factored into the landscape as naturally as possible. I do have our snapping turned off still, so let's come out of this main path. And then we're going to turn our elevation step into the middle. We can't quite get across there, so let's knock it down by one more. And we'll increase the height, and that should allow us to pass over the road. Just about there. Okay, let's have... we can come up to over here. I'm not a huge fan of these paths when they're elevated. They do look okay. I'm going to bring this guy back onto the ground. And then let's make a nice little feature up around here. Kind of a little pedestrian junction. And then this seems like a pretty... I'm going to switch back to the general dirt path now. And then we're going to come up and around this natural contour in the rock. Just delete that a little bit. That kind of looks a little bit funky, doesn't it? That's maybe not. Can we get a tiny little bridge here, maybe? Yeah, okay, that works. Okay, and then let's see what other kind of national park stuff we've got to place here now with the new unlocks. So we do have a hunting cabin too. Let's go ahead and place that. And let's do a little bit of detailing around here. Maybe have a little bench. Maybe a sign at the front of the path. And maybe a couple of little street lights. And if these guys are having a hunting cabin, we'll need a lot of reserves. Maybe with a chair and a little table at the bottom. Now what I do want this national park to feature all the way through is some of the taller redwood trees that line the road. So I think as we come into the valley here, let's just kind of paint out a general shape with them. See, on a related note, right now if we were using mods for to have the tree bushes, jobs like this would be a lot easier. So really it depends how much you guys want the next series to be modded. Do you want to go super hardcore, lots of downloadable assets, different maps, policies and like real heavy gameplay changes, or do you want it to just be, you know, traffic manager stuff that makes the vanilla game a little more manageable, and then stuff like the better landscaping tools so we can place water sources and different kind of rocks and whatnot, and maybe some tree assets because the vanilla trees aren't the greatest in the game. So what I'm trying to do here right now is I'm just placing these trees on the green bits, because these kind of big redwood trees, you know, they need deep roots to grow. They don't just grow on kind of cliff faces, otherwise they would just become uprooted and fall out. So I'm trying to leave those fairly exposed and trying to get a bit of a general effect here. So let's turn our UI off and have a little look down the road now. So that feels quite country to me. You know, you're driving through thick forest. There's a nice little path that comes over. I think that looks kind of neat. Let's go have a look what else we unlocked. We also unlocked hunting cabin number 1. Maybe we can have that up and over here. Now, unfortunately we have the fishing cabins, but we don't have the capacity to actually get rid of them. We have no water. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe over here we can have a little bit of... So, where I live there are a lot of kind of rural campsites attached to the towns. And I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of build one of these. Now, they are kind of businesses and they are busy a lot of the year. So what we're going to do here now is build almost like a dedicated campsite. So, this place is going to have its own sign. And maybe we can build also a little log here as well, and then we're going to build some. So this place is massive. Okay, let's factor in those paths again. I think we're going to use the national park ones for these because it is closer to the village. Let's bring that in there. And see if we can bring this up around the side. Okay. Let's have a look at placing some more of these woods. Now I'm not going to do all the tree detailing on camera. We'll probably save a little bit of it for some of our streams, which the Mixer channel is below if you guys want to check some of that out. Okay, let's bring the redwood forest up to the village. And these guys can be kind of really isolated from those big city slickers who come up to this part of the town for vacation. So I'm liking the way this town is looking with a little main street and then the dirt roads coming off. And even these guys here, there's a nice kind of like main touristy campsite up here. We'll see how that progresses. And in the meantime, I want to carry on working on these paths for the national park. I think we're going to have one coming back down the hill now. There's a nice little natural contour here. And we can almost follow the gradient of the hill as it descends away from the mountains. So you can kind of imagine people, you know, going for a walk up here, taking a hike. Let's use some of the big rocks now for detailing. Pretty sure there's a cave here, isn't there? Maybe we can have that, and then let's decorate around this with a couple of bigger boulders so it isn't just left isolated by itself. Maybe we can have... Does that look super weird? Having a cliff like that? I suppose it doesn't look too bad. And we've got a cliff number 10. And we can have this here. So they're kind of walking in and amongst all these ancient stones, I suppose. The area I live in is entirely glacial, so we have a lot of really deep cut valleys around the Lake District. Okay, where's the national park boundary up to? It is just about here. So we've still got a fair bit to expand into. I think maybe we can actually go ahead and set up some of the infrastructure for the ore industry that's going to lie around here. So let's go ahead and grab our road again. I'm going to kind of bring this, let's actually knock this curve out and bring it this way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paint that out as well. So all around here. It isn't much ore, but we don't need a huge kind of, you know, quarry within here. Again, comments in the suggestions below for the name of this industry. Okay. Let's have a look at some of the ore buildings real quick. Ore industry. Okay, so we have our ore industry main building. Maybe let's switch up to the industry road here as we come in, and we'll put snapping back on for this too. So I'm thinking kind of like this, and then I want that industry building to be sat. How long was that? That was 350. So let's build it out to there, and then maybe we can grab our industry building right in the middle. Okay, so that gives us a small ore mine, sand storage, and the ore grinding mill. Okay, so that gives this guy a fair distance away. We're going to go deep into the mining industry in its own episode. We're not going to do that right now, but we'll just get it set up so we have something of a start, and then maybe we can also connect something up here as well, so we have a connection to our ore industry through here. Now, right now, all the ore trucks are going to come down this road, back through the national park, and then into here, and send a load of industrial traffic through here, and we really don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build these guys their own tunnel. We've crashed. Okay guys, sorry about that cut. We just had our first crash of the episode, and we actually lost our little hunter's cabin up and over here, so I'll rebuild that off camera. We won't force you guys to sit through that again. But what I was saying was that if we leave all the ore industry to come back down this country mountain road, then that's going to send a load of industrial traffic through this kind of little town that we've got going on here, and that isn't what we want. So we're going to go ahead and build, if I can get the right placement for here, we'll probably actually have it come off in this direction. So this guy is going to have its own tunnel. Let's just see if we can kind of line up where we want this to come out. So I think here, straight under the mountain would be a good shout. So let's kind of start to bend this round. So about there. And there. And then I want to see if I can try and bring this guy out of the mountainside. I think that'll look really cool. And he can have his own slitway there. So that's just going to allow all our ore traffic to cut straight through here. We'll probably build some smaller towns, kind of similar to this, off camera, sorry, on the stream. And again, I've just replaced this because we did lose that in the crash. But we'll see how traffic performs on that. Next episode, we're going to leave this one here for right now. I've also had to replace all our little cave here, but I think we've got a nice little kind of, you know, isolated valley feeling going on here. There's a lot of kind of, you know, very wild and rural. It'd be cool to see Sims walking around these paths when they do eventually have a reason to come over here through more national park buildings. We can maybe build like a really isolated campsite up behind these little cliffs here. I think that'd be quite cool, but that's going to be a stream job. But of course I'll show you YouTube subscribers in a future episode what we ended up doing with that. Next episode we are going to be working on our airport, or maybe ore industry. I'll see what I feel like doing, whichever you guys want to see first. The international airport is going to sit here, so we've got a lot of infrastructure work to do with the roads to connect it into the city itself and then by the highway. That thing is going to generate a ton of traffic, so we want to make sure that the road infrastructure is there to cope with it. And then we also have to do a big redesign of our industry area over here, so we can accommodate the, where is it? The cargo airport hub. This thing is pretty massive, so we'll have to kind of do a bit of a rejig of the roads around here to accommodate that in. We also want to grab this highway here. We have all the traffic from our ports is pouring onto this highway, and it's causing a little bit of a backup here. It has been worse than this right now. It does tend to back up down this road, so what we're going to do during the industry rework, we're going to bring this road as a bridge, and we're going to connect it straight up to the highway here, so they can cut straight across and carry on down, and then obviously distribute throughout the city or wherever they want to go. Because at the minute they have to take this road and it's just slowing them down and creating traffic problems, which is not what we want. But otherwise guys, I'm going to leave the episode there. Don't forget to let me know how you want to see the future of Cities Skylines develop on this channel. Do we want modded? Do we want to stick to vanilla? Let me know what you want to do with Cities Skylines. Well, thank you very much for watching, and as always, please enjoy the rest of your day.